pour mener la conversation qu'elle aura, c'est Didier Alouche, que vous connaissez, parce qu'il est ici beaucoup au Festival de Cannes, il vit à Los Angeles. Je voudrais qu'on l'applaudisse très fort. Didier Alouche.
Until 3, talking about the Dupieux, the amazing film.
Vous êtes allé à la fête après?
Oh, we had such a great discussion about it. It's fantastic.
Well, let's start with that. Let's start by yesterday, and when you got the Palme d'Or, it was a beautiful moment. It's a very simple question to start with. What was the feeling? What did you feel at this moment when you got the prize when Juliette gave it to you?
I felt just a wave of feeling coming from the audience, and it's so much bigger than I thought. So many tears of people all the way up to the top. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I live a very quiet life, and really I don't get any respect at home. So it's sort of amazing to come into this arena and have that big tidal wave. Yeah.
And I love the moment with Juliette, and I love what she said about you and about your work, and I know you're a cinephile, I know you know your movies, but I wonder, what is your relationship to French cinema? I know you know most of it.
Well, I mean, I'm ashamed to say that in this now, it used to be that there were a certain number of films that you had to see in the time between Christmas and January 1st or something, or Thanksgiving. All the serious great films came out. So, foreign films and all the films that were going to be nominated. So in order to do this with some authority, you had to look at enormous numbers of films. And also, I'm so old that I've worked with absolutely everyone. And I'm going to run into them, and if I haven't seen their film, I'm an asshole. So I just... in answer to your question, I haven't seen enough films. And I also have 4 children who are grown, but that it never ends. And also I have 5 grandchildren. So I don't sit and watch enough movies. It's a crowded life, but I signed up for that, and that's what I have. So no. I haven't watched a lot of movies, but I did watch Camille Cotin in every single episode of 10%. And Juliette's films, and I seek out films of people that mostly actresses, because I fall in love with them, with actors, actresses, and with their work. But, there's only finite number of hours in the day.
Cannes, for you, it was A Cry in the Dark, Evil Angels, as they called it in the US. Very simply, what kind of memory do you keep from this year in Cannes, the year you won your acting prize?
I don't need one bodyguard. Believe me, I don't need one. I don't have a bodyguard. I don't know, how to have a. In home, I never have a bodyguard. They said you will need 9 bodyguards. I needed maybe a dozen the first time I came here because in the olden days, I don't know, there wasn't the same security, so all the barriers weren't there, and people would just the cameras were shoved up like this, It was insane, and I almost didn't recover from that. I went to the hotel room and it was like this. And I couldn't believe how wild it was. So that was 35 years ago. It's changed a lot. The world has changed a lot. So that's what I remember about it, really. The moment of getting the prize. I don't think I remembered it.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I was so afraid. I mean, you have to realize
You were afraid?
I was afraid, yeah. Like physically,
of what?
because I don't know. I'm not a rock star.
Yes, you are.
No, I don't have a very boring life. I mean, not boring, but filled with things that are not hyperbolic like that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back in the career. We won't do movie by movie. It's
okay.
I know artists don't like that, but I'm gonna start with Kramer versus Kramer. It's your first Oscar, but I read that the speech, the part at the end where you testify. You rewrote that with Robert Benton, or you're asking to rewrite it. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you changed her character, how you make her more human than she was originally?
So, Kramer versus Kramer, for everybody under 70, is a movie about...
I'm pretty sure everybody saw Kramer versus Kramer here.
It's about a divorce, and it's about, it was based on a novel by a man named Avery Corman, and it was sort of a revenge novel. I think he wrote it out of real anger. It was the beginnings of the women's movement that didn't make everyone happy. And so there was a lot of vitriol about these women stepping out of the role that is prescribed and leaving this poor man to raise his child. And in the novel, it's quite opaque why she leaves. I think he wasn't... I'm not saying anything I hadn't said to him. I don't think he was interested in why she left. He was really interested in... he was really interested in the father's dilemma. How could he possibly raise this boy and keep his job, and he barely knew how to be with a 4-year-old. So that was interesting in and of itself. So in the film, when Robert Benton took it and worked on the screenplay, he was the director as well, he said, so in the beginning they break up, she leaves, and most of the movie is about Dustin Hoffman coming to be so close to his little boy in a way that he had never been. And then the mother comes back and sues for custody. She comes back after 18 months of being away. So Benton said, "Why did she go?" And Dustin said, "I know." And I said, "Oh, tell me why." And so we all had this big discussion about why. And he said, "Well, I need this speech for the courtroom. I need her to because it's such a mystery." So we all went into our dressing rooms, and Dustin wrote his version of my speech, and Ben wrote his version and I wrote mine. And then we voted, and I won.
Left the room without your Oscar this night. I read that you left it somewhere.
It's probably true.
I read that you left it in the restroom.
Yes, I did. I did leave it in the restroom. It was a very big dress, and I had to lift it up and put the thing down, and then forgot that it was underneath there. And yes, but someone found it. The next person in.
Really didn't take it. I think I'm like most of the people in this room. Cinephiles, we love to go back to movies that are very important for us. There's some movies I have to watch at least once a year to remind me why I love movies. One of them is, of course, The Deer Hunter. It's more than an important movie, it's an essential movie. Did you realize it when you were making it?
No. I didn't.
You're not in the entire movie. This one in the beginning and the ending, and it's probably like 20-25 minutes of presence in the film. But when we remember the film, it feels like you're in all of it. I mean, you are the reason why those young people want to come back. You are the reason, the anchor that brings them back home and they're fighting for. How does that happen? I mean, Kramer is the same. You're only like 10, 12 minutes in the film and it feels like you're always there. I mean, how did you work? Do you work on that? I mean, do you do that on purpose? Are you this good?
No, but that's the day. Those were the days when there was only one woman in the movie. So we remember her. We remember her hair. You know, I don't know.
Also, Deer Hunter, the first time you're singing in a film, when you sing God Bless America at the end, remember? Is it?
Oh yeah.
Am I correct? Yeah.
Everybody sang. Everybody sang.
Yeah, but you started singing. And after that, there were plenty of. You are formed as a singer when you were a kid. You sang in a lot of movies, Postcard from the Age, Prairie Young Companion, The Prom, Into the Woods, and even badly in Florence for Certain Kids. Do you like that? Is it something that kind of liberates you when you sing in a movie?
I think I love to sing, and when I was a kid, I thought, you know, I took opera lessons. I had a coloratura voice, and then I started in high school cheerleading and smoking. Those two things kind of, ruined it. But I didn't really like opera anyway, so I liked rock and roll and Joni Mitchell and things like that. So, yeah. But I love music, and I think singing is a direct line to your heart. I think it's just, in drama school, one of the greatest teachers I had was the singing teacher, because she would make the whole class, she said, this term, all of you, she addressed 12 of us in our class, she said, all of you will get up and sing in front of the class. You'll sing something that means something to you, and you will make us cry. And the boys said, yeah, they'll die laughing. And she said, no, you're going to do it. And then they said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't sing, you know. But she said, no, when you sing, you open something. It's a direct line. Your head isn't involved. It's just the melody and this sentiment. And she was right. Every one of those guys got up and sang something. One sang to his, oh my mama, to me you are so beautiful. It was fantastic. It was a great lesson in I sang It's Lonely at the Top, Randy Newman. I did. Wow. That's weird. I meant it ironically, you know, because I was broke and yeah, everything.
All right. Outspoken about the inequality in salary between male actor and female actors. You were pretty outspoken in the 90s, and then since then you're always talking about that and you're always fighting for that. It's been 30 years and it hasn't changed. How do you explain that? There is some progress. There is some progress.
Oh my God, there's so many big female stars. The biggest stars in the world are, you know, women right now. In terms of, although Tom Cruise probably so, way over over the top, but you know, it's a lot different than when I started. When I started, I think there was I don't know in how they made the deals. I think there was a lot of leveraging and trading of you know, I'll give you this big male star if you. I'm not sure how it all worked, but I think it was, we were undercut, women, in those negotiations. But now I think they understand that it's still kind of, movies are a projection of people's dreams. Even executives have dreams, even movie executives who are making a green light thing. They're living their fantasy. And so it's very hard. Before there were women in green light positions at studios, it was very hard for men to see themselves in a female protagonist. It was not difficult for the women executives to see themselves in a male protagonist, but the hardest thing, I've said this 150,000 times, is that the hardest thing is for a male to live through the female in a movie who's lead. And I think that that's what inhibited. It was a personal thing. You know, everything, it's not always just about money. It's just that they just didn't get it. You know, they didn't get the first movie I've ever made where a man came up to me afterwards and said, "I know how you felt," was Devil Wears Prada. and it was more than one man came and said, "I know how you felt. I know what it's like to be the one to take the decisions, and nobody understands you," you know. And that was fascinating to me. But no man watches The Deer Hunter and feels like the girl, you know. But I can watch The Deer Hunter and identify with John Savage, Chris Walken's character, De Niro. It's like we can do that. We speak that language, but it's very hard for them to feel us. Or, do you know what I mean? Yeah, okay.
Going on this, and in the 90s you were pretty much you were outspoken about Pretty Woman, and you were not very happy that the only movie with a female star, which was a huge success, is the female star is a prostitute. Do you feel that nowadays the role given to women in Hollywood are better and much representative of what they are in the real world?
Oh my God. The roles are wonderful now, I think, for women. And so many women are producing for themselves and have, you know, I'm so in awe of the ones who've done that. Reese and Nicole, and everybody seems to, Natalie Portman, everybody has their own production company. And I had a production company, you know, of babies, and that's what I produced, but I didn't ever want to get phone calls after 7 o'clock at night. So, I didn't ever do that. I don't know, I'm in awe of the people that can. Again, there's just so many hours in the day, and I just, yeah.
But you gave some of your time to the Times movement.
What?
you gave some of your time to the Time's Up movement, and you were pretty much involved. It has changed things.
The Time's Up movement was what was it, like 2017 maybe?
17.
Yeah. It's like, past history now, but I think it did change things in not just Hollywood, but in the service industry, in hotel and for waitresses, or for hotel service workers, for, you know, lots of loves. It had a filter round effect. In business, the same shenanigans still go on, but they're a little bit, you know, afraid. But it's like, it has made a little correction in things, and in places, I'm sure, went overboard, and in other places, appropriately identified real abuse. And so, that's good.
I think I can talk for everybody in the room when I say that you are fantastic in Iron Lady. And but what I'm wondering is, we know that your political convictions are totally different than the one of Margaret Thatcher. Is it really difficult to play a character that really doesn't think like you do?
So for Margaret Thatcher, there was a lot that was interesting about her. I found it was fascinating. The film really was. The film was like Lear in a way. It was like interested in the end of power, in the diminution, in the humbling of great power. And it's a thing that isn't really feminine or masculine. It's just when people decline. What is that like? I mean, it's just the beautiful leveling of time, the reckoning of age, and so that's where we were with it. Looking back on the confusion of it, that was interesting to me. Her politics, you know, that's a film still to be made about her rise and how it happened and why the things came together the way they did. Yeah, her friendship with Reagan and everything. But that wasn't what we were doing.
And this movie allowed your makeup artist that you talked about yesterday to get an Oscar, and that must have been wonderful, was it?
Yes, it was. It was fascinating, and I loved the opportunity to. When I was a little girl, I remember I was like 8, and my mother had an eyebrow pencil, and I liked to draw. So I drew on my face all the lines. I was fascinated with my grandmother, who was in her 80s, and I drew all the lines on my face that were like hers. And I took a picture, and my mother took a little black and white picture, and it looks like me now. And it was really, because I've always been interested, my grandmother said to me, I'm just like you. In my mind, I can do a cartwheel, I can roll around on the floor. And I thought, my grandmother is like me? That I'm like her? So it always as a child interested in me, you know, the circle of who we are incipiently inside us, and then what we become. You know, all that. So doing that old age makeup in Iron Lady and feeling that and feeling it, it just, it was very satisfying artistically to meet that again.
Very recently you played another woman of power. You played the President of the United States in Don't Look Up. I wonder how much it was inspired by the worst President of the United States that we ever had.
Well, it was
You were great, by the way.
Thank you. That film was, I think Adam McKay, you know, he is an amazing filmmaker, and he's so funny, and he's intent on delivering sort of a lethal method with a joke, message through a joke. And he did a great job. But yeah, these preposterous characters that I wasn't imitating any one president, but I was taking off a lot of the way a lot of women present on TV in the United States, the bright colors, the barrel curls, and the, yeah. I thought, I don't know, why not?
I have a question regarding the difficulties. I wonder, you played all kind of characters. I wonder if there's a level of difficulty that is different for you, if it's a period piece, if it's like French Lieutenant or Iron Lady, or if it's a very specific character like the nun in Doubt, or the one in Lemony Snicket, if you want, or if it's more like a normal character, down-to-earth character like Silkwood, if you want. What is the most difficult for you? If you have to dress up, if you have to go to another time, is it easier? Does that facilitate the job? Is that something that you, or is it more difficult if you just yourself?
I'm dressing up all the time. So, you know, to decide what to wear. We all decide every morning who we're going to be. You put on whether you want to fit in, whether you want to stand out. You know, it's all those, every little decision, which shoe, which jacket. I remember when we made Falling in Love. This is not a costume drama, but I remember what do they call them? The tests, the costume tests, and De Niro had 32 little chino jackets, and he put each one on, and he checked the sleeve, he checked the collar, and 32 jackets, because each decision is defining a person. So, you know, you decided on the black tie today. You know, it's a decision. No, I decided very conservative, you know, also hangover. So I can't do anything too tough. But
how about the less realistic the character is? Does that help you? Does that liberate you? Does that make things different?
Yeah, well, there are some outsized characters like Death Becomes Her, that character is so very silly. But that's like doing a movie in drag for me, you know, it's like being that uber feminine, whatever that is. That's now the way people dress in in Florida. It's like, yeah, it's a way of defining a person and having fun. I don't know, I don't think of them as realistic or unrealistic. I think they're just doing their best, you know, they're just trying to live.
I want to talk of another Mike Nichols movie, Postcard from the Edge. It's a beautiful movie, it's a funny movie, it's witty, it's smart, it's very well played, very well written. I know that you develop a big friendship with Carrie Fisher on doing this movie so much. This is let's talk a little bit about when she asked you to play her. How was the relationship between you when you have to play someone who's on the set every day?
Yeah, well, Mike Nichols called us the Gang of Two, you know, like Mao's Gang of Four. So we were the Gang of Two, and he was a little bit put off, I think, by our bonding, because she was the writer and I was the actress and he was the boss. But she was a fantastic presence, my God. Wild and so sharp and so funny. I really miss her, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't think really that I was playing her. It's just like on Heartburn, when Nora Ephron, I played her, and I didn't think about really her judging me or on adaptation when I played Susan Orlean and she was on set. I didn't think about that because I just believed I was me. I was just me. And I didn't sit outside and worry about the other thing. You know, the script is there, the other actor's there. The scene doesn't happen until you look into the other actor's eyes and you get everything there. So, I don't know. I didn't think about it that way.
The movie is also a comedy, not only, but also a comedy, and you've done a lot of comedies. I mean, since She Devil, I think in 1987, you've been doing a lot of them. Is it different for you, like it?
Is it difficult? Is that what you said? Different. Yeah. But I don't, as I say, I don't have a production company, so I've always been dependent on whatever script comes in the door. I don't know if it's going to be a funny one or a very serious one, or I never know what's coming, and I like that. I like sort of the serendipity. I don't develop things. I don't buy books. And although I think I just did recently something that's in development, but usually I haven't done that because, again, my family life took up most of that time, so I couldn't. But yeah, no, I don't make a differentiation. It's just human beings. I think the most tragic, there's some things in Sophie's Choice that, you know, it's like Chekhov said, that feeling that everything very tragic. There's something that has a color of, oh my God, even deathly humor. You know, if we don't laugh somewhere. So anyway, I always think that there's something to find, and something multi-layered, oh my God, I'm disintegrating, in an understanding of material. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question that will kind of put you in trouble, and me probably. You work with Mike Nichols, Nancy Meyers, Michael Cimino, Steven Spielberg, Alajin Pakula, Clint Eastwood, Sidney Pollack, Stephen Frears, Greta Gerwig, Jonathan Demme, Steven Soderbergh, etc., etc., etc. You work with the best of the best. What is for you a good director?
A good director is a confident director. That's the most important, I think. Really wants to be there. Really wants to, knows what she wants to say, wants to instill confidence in the group. The great directors make it a happy set as well, you know, or make it fun. But that's not necessary. What's necessary is you have the sense that that person really wants to tell this story and that the stakes are high, even in a comedy, that you want to get it right. So this discriminating eye, a demanding eye, and a passionate one, yeah.
And what happens when you don't have that? What happens when you're on the set and you don't feel that? What do you do?
I go home, you know, and cook and get up the next day. Everybody's exhausted. Look, they're leaving. It's okay. I'm the same.
One very last thing. even in your career,
Yeah.
there were ups and downs. It's a career of everybody, even you did. But for the kids who are starting in their acting career, who are in the room now, the students, what would be your advice to tell them when the career is not great and when everything is a little down? What would you tell them to?
Just keep hope alive, because it just takes one. Just takes the first one, and if it lands, if you get a good job and it lands, it will lead to the next one. I mean, that's the way things happen. I think, just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.